Welcome back to the Malted Man Cave. I'm your host Keith. Tonight I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to share with you guys my top 5 favorite go-to whiskeys. So most whiskey fans have their favorite whiskeys. You know, the whiskeys that are just kind of a notch above most of the stuff that we have in our collection. If you're a whiskey geek like me, you like to try as many whiskeys as possible so that you can really just inform your palate to just fully understand whiskey. I don't know if everybody's like me, but I want to try as many as I possibly can. But then there's some times that I'm like, this is just okay. I want to have something that's amazing. And so I wanted to share with you guys my top 5 favorite go-to whiskeys. I tried to keep in mind for myself things that were more affordable. Now, these 5 whiskeys are amazing and some of them are fairly expensive. But I have had some whiskeys that are more expensive and a few that are even better than these. But I wanted to pick kind of that middle range, the ones that are affordable, but not cheap and amazing. Up first on my top 5 favorite go-to whiskeys is not actually a whiskey, it's a series of whiskey, or a whiskey collection. And that is, Signatory has their cask strength collection. And I'm pretty sure all of these are non-chill filtered, they're not colored, and they're at cask strength, which if you're into whiskey for a long time, most of us whiskey geeks kind of gravitate towards the cask strength because we can kind of play with it. We can get the full, bold, robust flavors, but we can water it down and experiment with it if we want. This particular bottle is Clynelish 1995, aged for 22 years in a refill sherry butt. It's just absolutely amazing. It's got all these dark chocolate, but then it has like this plastic candy, you know, like the little red lips you used to get for Halloween. It's got that kind of taste to it, that waxiness, but yet this fruity barley sugar, just amazing notes. It's just absolutely amazing. I've had many. I've had, you know, the Deanston 2006 aged 11 years. It's not quite as good, but still fantastic. Up next on my list is Bunnahabhain 18. Now I have to give a little bit of a warning. This whiskey, with the new rebranding, you know, the repackaging, it's still amazing, amazing liquid. And Distill / Burn Stewart, they are just doing amazing things with Deanston, with Tobermory and Leche, however you want to pronounce it. And obviously Bunnahabhain. I mean, they just make amazing whiskeys. However, as good as the old 18 was, and it was probably in my top 4 or 5 like best whiskeys, and I'm not even saying like value for money, just top 5 ever, like even like $500, $600 whiskeys that I've had, even more expensive than that. But the newer bottlings, although they're still amazing, they're not quite as good. And I had a little intel that the older bottlings had some older whiskeys in it, which it's not fair to judge an 18 if it, you know, that is actually aged 18 years with an older one that, you know, is like 22 years. But if you can get the older bottling of Bunnahabhain 18 that looks different than this, pick it up. It is amazing. It is so good. It's got this earthy, chocolatey dunnage notes with all the fruit and just, oh my gosh, raisins. It's absolutely amazing. This bad boy is pretty good too. It tastes a little bit younger, and obviously it should because it's not 22 years like the old ones were aged. But still, a very, very good whiskey for the money. Look out for it. Bunnahabhain 18, absolutely amazing. Up next on my list is again not a single whiskey, but a series of whiskey. Many of you guys will know the Longrow Red series, which is absolutely fantastic. They all come non-colored, non-chill filtered, and a cask strength, and each one is matured typically in bourbon at first, and then they finish it for several years, not just for a couple months, in just an awesome first fill wine cask. Just absolutely amazing. They're rich, they're robust, they're just bursting full of like fruity flavors, you know, all with just some awesome Springbank funk and some peat in the background. Just an absolutely amazing series. Each one I would pay hundreds of dollars for. No top 5 list would be complete without an Islay whiskey in it. So I had to pick Lagavulin 8. Now obviously the Lagavulin 12 is even better. I've had some amazing older Lagavulins. I've had the Lagavulin White Horse, which is unbelievable. But I wanted to pick one that is affordable and available and amazing. And the Lagavulin 8 has all the goodness from the Lagavulin 12 and the older ones. It has all those umami chicken noodle broth, sweet vanilla bourbon notes, goodness with the bonfire smoke and the peatiness. It is just fantastic. I often reach for this once or twice a week. I just cannot help myself. It's amazing. My last pick for my top 5 favorite go-to whiskeys, it had to be a Springbank 12 cask strength. Now this is a whiskey that I would have to say that I truly, truly love. I believe this pretty much started my love affair with Scotch. Now there were some other ones that got me into Scotch and got me passionate about Scotch, but this baby made me love Scotch with a passion and made me want to create a YouTube channel. It made me want to tell and geek out about it online. As the title suggests, it comes in at cask strength. It is not colored, not chill filtered. And I believe that the cask maturation is typically 70% sherry, 30% bourbon, or 60% sherry, or 40% bourbon. I believe this one is actually 70% sherry and 30% bourbon. And it just has all these amazing red, fruity notes. Then you get the vanilla notes, you get the peat and the funk. It is just an absolute beautiful whiskey. In full disclosure, this particular one is not quite as good as the release that came out before it, but it's still a fantastic whiskey. If you can find any of these whiskeys, pick them up. I promise you, you will not regret it. Just leave some for me.